right, we're gonna go for this run today. As you can see, I am running in the evening, so I didn't get to get out running in the morning this morning. But we're still gonna knock it out. 365 days. We're not taking a day off. This is our third attempt, and we're gonna make it happen. So I will see you guys in a little bit. Hey guys, let's talk about last night's run. So you guys know how much I like running at night. I talk about it all the time. It's not my favorite thing, but I wanted to, do this retrospect, reflecting. Last night when I went running, I ran, I got my run in, I did my intro video. I didn't do the wrap-up video last night because, well, I had some pressing stuff that I needed to get to. So when I got back from my run, I ran inside, took a shower, threw on some fresh clothes, jumped on my laptop, worked on a few things that I needed to get to. And then before I knew it, it was just, I was ready for bed. I just didn't do the wrap-up video. But here's the thing. Let's talk about this reflectiveness, this retrospect point of view on when you work out or when you go for a run or when you're doing whatever it is this 365 challenge is for you. So in reflecting in my run last night, I was thinking, well, what is it? What is it about running at night, right? I mean, the weather is changing where I'm at. It's definitely cooler than it was 3-4 weeks ago. In the evening, it's nowhere near as hot as it was 3-4 weeks ago. So it would be easier to run, right? And why is it not? Why is it not easier for me to run at night? And I think it's a self-observation. It's almost like a self-discovery thing. So as I was thinking about it, I realized even though I have trained myself to not really be affected by time zones just because I work with teams all over, like, there's been times where I have been managing development teams in India, for example, and so my work schedule might start at 3:30 in the morning because I'm dealing with them in the morning. And maybe there's been other times where I'm dealing with people on the East Coast, and so then my schedule is, I'm running 3 hours ahead of time because I'm trying to accommodate, the teams that are in the East Coast. And sometimes I might be working with, a project team or coordinating stuff for a project, and they're in Australia, and so I'm totally upside down on that one, right? So at different times in my life, I work with different time zones in an international way, and therefore this whole idea about being a morning person or being a late night person or being a night owl, whatever you want to call it, it's just kind of like, to me, it just depends on if I don't stress on it or think of it the same way. If I have to get up at 4 in the morning, I get up at 4 in the morning. If I have to get up at 1 in the morning, and deal with some people in Tokyo, then I deal with some people in Tokyo at 1 in the morning. It doesn't matter. For a really long time, for about 13 years of my life, while I worked at Cisco Systems, my schedule was all over. I had meetings at 11 o'clock at night, 1 in the morning, sometimes 2 in the morning, and then I would have meetings sometimes at 10 in the morning. And so you just kind of worked around whatever the demand was. And I did that for so long that I've always kind of grown to believe that I just don't think about time zones that way. I just think of whatever needs to be done, I just go out there and I just get it done. That's it. That's my job. I just do it. But in doing that, I've trained myself a certain way, like when it comes to how I perceive time, right? But I noticed that once you commit yourself to do something 365 days and you're trying to squeeze it into your day, and maybe the morning was just too hectic, maybe you had a call for work, or maybe you had, you're trying to get your kid ready for school and breakfast, and there's a few other things that are happening, and you got a service person at your front door that's supposed to come over to do something. Before you know it, you're like, wow, I didn't get the run in. And now I'm working on work stuff, and I just can't break away from my desk, so we're going to have to run tonight. One of the things that I found is that, although I don't necessarily think of myself as a morning person, the evening runs are always more challenging. Because I think what happens is, internally, I have this internal clock that basically right around 5 or 6 p.m., this clock just basically says, hey, all right, you don't have no meetings. There's no reason for you to be up late. And let's kind of figure out dinner and then let's get you kind of winding down. And if I haven't ran in the morning, then what happens is as soon as that voice starts to talk to me, I start thinking about, well, wait a minute, I can't wind down right now. I gotta get my running. So now it's 6:30, 7 o'clock at night, putting on my running shoes, I'm going for a run. And when I get back, I gotta eat dinner. And then it's late dinner, and then it's shower, and then it's, well, I never got any kind of wind down because now I gotta go to bed because maybe I have to get up early in the morning. And if I really wanna run in the morning the next day, well, then I have to get up that much earlier. And so it's literally like eat and go to bed, which any person will tell you it's not the greatest thing to eat and go to bed, right? So running in the evening is always more challenging. And why am I going through all this? Well, it's important to understand, one, why certain things are challenging for you. Two, it's important to understand that, challenging or not, this whole transformation thing is about building discipline in doing the thing that you don't want to do and getting it done on a daily basis. Building that sense of discipline, building that routine, embodying this daily ritual, right? And in doing that, there's a transformation that's happening. Because here's a crazy thing. Look, I don't know if you're running for 365 days. Maybe you're reading a book a month for 365 days. 10, 15 pages a day, and you're doing that for whatever number of books in a year, but you're going to read 15 pages every day, for 365 days. Maybe that's the challenge. And whether you're running or doing a physical, I'm working out for 365 days, or you're just reading books for 365 days, I guarantee you that there are some side benefits to your challenge that you maybe haven't even really thought about, right? What does that mean? Well, it's simple. Look, I decided to run for 365 days. Side benefits. My heart's going to get healthier. We just know that. You just know that. Every scientific study tells you that regular exercise every day, cardiovascular exercise, is going to strengthen your heart. So we know that. Blood pressure is probably going to go down. Boom, 2 benefits. Let's think about what else. Well, I'm going to maybe build some agility, right? And probably going to lose some weight. Or at very least, I'm going to feel better. I'm already feeling better. I talked about that in several videos. Maybe I get a little thinner. So we got 5, right? Maybe I live longer, right? Because I'm aware of my challenge, I can tell you this, I'm a little bit more keen or more in tune with what I'm eating. Definitely. And I haven't actually gone like on a deep dive on a diet, because I mentioned that, right? I wanted to do this as a pure challenge for 365 days with just one thing that I'm changing. And the reason why is because I want to see what that impact, how much impact just the one change does for me, right? But I am aware of what I'm eating. I'm a little bit more conscious about what I'm eating. And why am I more conscious about what I'm eating? Well, let's talk about that. If I eat an Alexis size bowl of spaghetti and meatballs, I am not going running. There's no way I'm going running after that, right? So I find myself eating things that are a little bit more easy for my body to process, that are a little, I'm not on a diet per se. I'm not sitting here telling myself I could never have ice cream. If I want a little bit of ice cream, I might just get me a little ice cream or something. But my point in all this is that even if I'm not in a really strict diet or a really rigid kind of nutritional thing, I am aware of what I'm eating. I'm aware. I'm trying to eat maybe more. I've been eating a little bit more fruit than normal, because I feel that if I snack on an apple in the middle of the day, is a lot better than me making a grilled cheese sandwich, right? The grilled cheese sandwich is going to feel heavier on my stomach. And if I, in fact, didn't run that morning and I'm going to run in the evening, I'm definitely going to feel the difference. So maybe you don't want to eat a grilled cheese sandwich in the afternoon. Well, an apple is better. Therefore, I'm having these side benefits as far as nutrition goes. If your challenge is to read 10 pages every day of a book and you're reading every single day, even if you're reading a novel, even if you're reading, fiction books, at very least, I can tell you that you're improving your skills in reading. Because the more we read, the better we become at reading. The more you read, the better your language, the better you communicate. Your speech will improve. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Just by reading. Believe it or not, just by reading, even your writing skills will improve, because your brain will start to recognize certain patterns in the writings that you're reading, right? And then when you're writing, it will recollect certain ways that it processed information, and you'll start to write better. You'll start to organize your thoughts on paper more efficiently. You'll pick up on certain styles of writing. Writers are all different. And as you start to identify certain styles in writing, right, you will start to develop a style of your own when you start writing. It's just something that happens. It's natural. It just happens. The more you read, you're going to have all of those benefits. And if you take it one step farther and you're not reading, a fictional book about sci-fi or something, and you're actually reading a book that is giving you a certain set of skills, or is teaching you about certain skills or certain concepts that you can apply in life, well, then the knowledge is right. I mentioned several times, if you just took one book every month on a particular topic and you read that book, that means that you will have read 12 books in a specific topic. So let's just talk about finance for a minute, personal finance. If you were to take one book every month, let's say a 200-page book, if you do 10 pages every day, basically in 20 days, you will have read a 200-page book. And if you took a book in economics, or a book in personal finance, investing, preparing for retirement, the benefits of insurance products in retirement, taxes in retirement, building wealth, strategies for wealth building, how to invest in stocks, how to invest in futures or options, or what is options trading. If you just picked finance and you just started reading a book every month, by the time you get to the end of 1 year, 365 days, you will have read over 12 books. And if you did that for 2 years, you probably would have a very vast knowledge. You would have this explicit understanding of different things that you could be doing to improve in your financial world. You probably will know more than even some of the people that go to college to learn about this stuff. Because even though they went to college to learn about this stuff and got a degree in it, they had to take a bunch of other prerequisite courses. They had to take, a bunch of stuff that kind of supported some of the core knowledge that they needed to take. But when you really break it down, how many courses did they actually take for the actual financial part? For their finance degree, for their major, how many courses did they take? And how many books did they actually read? Because if you remember something about college, is that you don't read a book cover to cover. You really don't. You read a certain number of chapters, you have assignments and papers that you have to write based on the chapters that you took, and you do some maybe labs depending on the kind of course that you're taking, and then you have a group project with a couple of other students that you're working with, and you don't read the book cover to cover, right? You don't memorize the book. It doesn't work that way, right? So, have you absorbed more information by reading 10 pages a day of a book in a particular topic over the course of a year? I don't know. It would be interesting to put that to a study, but if I had to, my hypothesis would be that you would probably have more knowledge about that topic. And if you really drill down and you look for the masters of, right? Because that's the other thing. A lot of the books that I think that we read in college, they seem to be, I don't know. They've been using that book for a couple of years, right? It's not like they're looking at current trends or current developments that are happening. Like, if you take a marketing class right now in college, they're going to talk about the fundamentals of marketing, the history of marketing. They're going to talk about, the science behind sponsorships, the 4 C's of marketing, the 4 P's of marketing. There's all this conceptual stuff, right, that are fundamental to marketing. But if you were to pick up marketing books and you just went and you focused on reading about, how the founder of Amazon, the marketing strategies behind Amazon, you're gonna get, like, right now, real knowledge. This is like the stuff that took Amazon to become Amazon. And it's gonna talk about how they leverage social media. And it's gonna talk about how, algorithms work to support consumerism by understanding some of the demands that people are having based on the purchasing patterns that are being executed, right? Tracking this data, the analytics of data, to understand what's driving certain markets. Have you ever gotten a coupon right around the time when your shaving cream ran out for shaving cream? Yeah, that wasn't a coincidence. That's because there's an entire science behind it, and how they track what you're purchasing and how often do you purchase it, so that right around the time when your Gillette shaving cream is coming to an end, boom, you get a coupon, and it gets you back in the store to buy another one. There's a reason why when you're talking about certain topics, all of a sudden your YouTube, or not YouTube, but Facebook, bing, something pops up and it says you were talking about this necklace. Hey, it's on sale. The whole entire science behind it is there. So my point in this is, there is benefits to taking yourself into a 365-day challenge that you may not be thinking about. You might be thinking, I want to read about finance so I can basically, be better at budgeting my budget or following my budget. But in doing that, in 365 days, you might find out that you have enough knowledge to hold financial courses. Or you might discover that, hey, I could be a financial coach. Or you might be discovering that, hey, I kind of like the idea of, trading stocks. Or you might discover that there's bigger markets than stocks. Yeah, stocks is like the baby markets. There are massive markets out there for trading, right? And some markets that move really fast and some markets that move really slow, and there's all these different things out there. And you might discover all these other benefits that you didn't even think about that you could potentially discover. That's the reason why I went and I ran in the evening. I know, it's crazy. The reason why I went, even though I didn't want to go, even though I hate running at night, even though I had to put off dinner, and I had stuff that I needed to run back to take care of it, is because in the process of committing myself to running for 365 days without taking a day off, I am discovering additional benefits. And I want to share that with you because I'm hoping that my insights or my reflection on everything that's happening with me as far as my runs triggers you to inspires you to potentially take on a challenge yourself. Because I think you're gonna find yourself amazed. 365 days. When we think about 365 days and we go, wow, that's a whole year. Yeah. Hey, we're coming up on Christmas, my friends. I feel like yesterday we were celebrating Christmas. This year flew by, right? And I'm on my third attempt right now. And it has been, I think, almost 3 months since I started this challenge. Almost 4 months now. But if I'm thinking correctly, I might be off. My point is, time flies. In 365 days, for you to transform yourself into something good, positive, better, more efficient, smarter, more dynamic, it's a very small investment when you really think about it. 365 days, reading 15 pages, how long can that possibly take you? 30 minutes? Hey, I'm gonna put it into perspective for you. On my long days, I run about 40 to 45 minutes. On my long days, that's when I'm running 3.5, pushing for the 4th mile. Okay? We're at like 36 minutes, 40 minutes. It's a really small investment when you really think about it. I'm gonna leave you with those thoughts because the thing is, ultimately, these videos are, one, for you guys to get excited about doing something that's gonna better you. And 2, my daughter's watching these. And I love that she is. And I hope that she keeps coming back to watch them long after I'm gone. Because I hope that she sees in my smile and my spirit how much I love her and how much I'm doing this for her. Because I want her to keep being reminded by me of how minimal changes can create drastic impacts in your life. Minimal changes. A 30-minute run every day, a 30-minute walk every day, a 10-minute walk every day can make a huge difference in your life and how you feel and who you are and how you become and who you become. A half hour of reading can make a huge difference on who you are, who you become, and where your life takes you. You deserve it. You deserve it. Don't be greedy with yourself. Give yourself the time and space to become, to change, to grow. Thank you so much for following. Thank you again for your subscriptions. It really excites me that you're enjoying these videos. And again, have a wonderful day.